So if you want to memorize the derivatives of inverse trig, the first thing you should know is that you only have to memorize these, and these will be really easy. So to memorize these, there are variations that say 1. This u prime, all that means is that they've already done the chain rule. So this is actually easier because then you won't make a silly mistake. So the first thing to see is that there's a pattern. So you see that there's u prime on the top for all of these. The next thing is that there's a square root for 2 of these. Okay, so we know that now u prime, so we don't have to memorize u prime because it's on the top of all of these. And then so on the bottom there's square roots for 2 of them. Now how do you know which one's which? So for sine, what you look at is you look at this I, and the I kind of looks like a 1. So you'll know to put a 1 at front and then put minus u squared. And you'll see here, underneath both of the square roots, it's always something and then it's minus. So look at the I, and you'll just start with 1 minus, and then you see that everything's u squared, so it's going to be u squared. The next one for tangent, the t looks like a plus sign. So you'll know that the only plus sign will go with tangent because the t looks like a plus sign. And finally, secant, you'll remember the absolute value is how I think of it is you. Let's say this is a person. This person seeks a party, and so the party is represented, let's say, by a door. So they seek a party, so they want to go through this door. And then so that'll remind you of the absolute value, and then you'll remember that it's square root just like this. And then since you know that sine has 1 in the front, you'll remember that secant is the exact opposite. So it's going to be, so it can't be 1, that means it has to be u squared, and then you know it's minus, and then it'll be 1. So if you've memorized those, then these are really easy, because all they are is that you just have to remember that which ones are they matched up with. Sine is matched up with cosine. So all that happens between these is the fact that there's a negative sign. That's the only change that there is. And it's even easier because all of these start with a c. So anything that starts with a c, they have a negative sign in front. And so just to recap, for sine, look at the 1. So the 1 goes in front, and then you have minus u squared. And all these have u squared, so it's going to be 1 minus something, and you know that something is going to be u squared. Tangent, the t looks like a plus sign. And then you know that there's one of them that's doesn't have a square root, so the only plus sign is going to go with the one that doesn't have a square root. And then finally, secant, you seek a party, which is through these doors, and then which is the absolute value. And then you have, since you know that sine has 1 in front, you know that this has to be the opposite, so it's going to be u squared minus 1. And then just to remember the opposites, everything that starts with a c will have a negative in front. So I hope that helped, and thanks for watching.